All right. Okay, call to order. Okay, we got a meeting minutes from 1/18 of 22, and there was no meeting on 2/7 of 22. So let me just make sure that those. We got those meeting minutes. Everybody seen the meeting minutes?
Yeah.
I attached.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope. All good.
Does anybody want to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
So moved.
Take a second.
Second.
Oh. Lisa.
All in
I don't know
favor?
if I can.
Kathy Schofield, aye.
Agro, aye.
Hilton, aye.
Davis, aye.
Martin, aye.
Excellent. All right. Let's see. Next, so we'll have the final review and approval of phase 2 final draft survey. Dominique, I'm assuming that's you to take the lead on that.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Wonderful to see you all here tonight. Thank you so much. Missed you guys. So, yeah, so has everybody had a chance to take a look at the survey? I know we had wanted to try to get it out, try to get it out a month or so ago and had a couple of hiccups. Has anybody not had a chance to take a look at the survey? I think Lisa was it Lisa who took a lead on reviewing all of this? We compiled all of your edits, both those that we had discussed at the previous meeting and those that were submitted by email. We compiled them all. And then I think I shared them with somebody and they took a look and, there were no other changes. Does that sound familiar?
I think we discussed doing that to have one person take the lead on it, and we thought it would be best for us all to take time to review the changes and discuss and approve as a team.
Would you like to walk through the survey, or have you all had a chance to review the survey as uploaded to the Dropbox, which is the revised final version?
Does anybody have an opinion on that? On
I think
going
I'm
through it
fine
one more
with-
time?
I'm fine.
I reviewed it.
Okay.
Wonderful. So it sounds like through the chair or vice chair, we may have a potential opportunity for a motion to approve the survey.
Lonnie, do you want to do that?
I can make the motion. It doesn't matter who
Oh,
makes the
okay.
motion. Anybody
Okay.
can make the motion.
Go Ellen.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
All in
Right.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Laura.
So we're
Yeah.
approving the final survey, and okay, great.
Tremendous. Okay, so there are follow-up items to that through the vice chair. So we have some promotional materials that have been were also uploaded to the Dropbox last month or so. Did you all have a chance to take a look at those promotional materials? I'm going to screen share and we can just flip through them really quickly. We'll want to, we can, launch the survey tomorrow morning. We'll get it up on the Master Plan Facebook website, and we'll do a paid ad. We'll be looking for, your support in promoting it in various ways as well. Hold on. Just 1 second, since I can't talk and navigate.
Is anyone at the town hall?
I was
Nope.
there, Kathy, until about 5:53, and I couldn't get in, so I ran home and
Okay.
hopped on virtually. Yeah, unfortunately, nobody was there.
All right.
All right.
This-
Can you see my screen? I've got a survey ad up.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yes, excellent. Okay, so this is a social media ad that we put together. Something simple that, just an image to accompany a Facebook post that we'll do. Has a QR code, has a master plan website, and just, designed to be something really, really basic to get it out there. Thoughts? How's it look?
I think it looks great. I think I don't know what the future rollouts will be of other things, but wonder if maybe we could stay using the same like font or color code so people will kind of know that these colors or these looks will cue them to think that this is a master plan.
I think
Stuff.
that's a wonderful idea. That would be a great branding strategy. I wouldn't personally. So one of our very marketing savvy interns made this flyer. These wouldn't be the colors that I might choose for all of my branding going forward, unless you guys
Right.
like them. Would you like something a little more traditional, perhaps blue and green? Well, we can. You know what? We can go. We can take that. We can present you some other. Examples next meeting, and we can revisit the coloring for the branding if you like.
Yeah, the
Or
only
nip-
thing that might be good is just kind of the school colors or the men in colors have always been kind of green and white. And then maybe we
Okay.
can put the even if we have the town logo, we could maybe put
Yeah.
that kind of catches the eye that it's for something for the town.
Yeah.
What a great
Yeah.
idea. We can incorporate those changes. Would it be all right if we made them and then continued on with the survey launch in the morning as planned? Or do you want to take a look at the final version?
I'm actually okay with whatever you guys really think. Those are just a couple ideas to throw out.
Yeah, green, black, and white would be the colors,
All
and
right.
then whatever logo you have for our master plan or the town logo would be great.
Tremendous. Okay. I'm just going to flip through some of the other examples. There will probably be an opportunity to make similar adjustments. Let's see. Okay. We have this. This is a flyer to put in windows. It's 8.5 by 11. Oops, I think we lost it though. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm not sure if you had utilized a version of this in a previous survey. I know we had utilized it for another town at least. So, again, just a basic survey, a basic, flyer to hang in windows, etc. QR code, website, survey link.
I'm personally not a fan of the bubbles.
Okay.
I don't know what anybody else thinks.
Is it possible to have this sort of follow like what Lisa was saying, that whole theme from the
Yep.
ad that you have to the flyers that are going to be in the windows to anything that goes out so that it's recognizable to the town and they know what their people know what they're looking at as they walk by?
Absolutely. What we can do is we can just take a second pass at all of the promotional materials that are developed. We can do that probably tomorrow, and we'll just retool them a little bit and release accordingly, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that I sent you one, something I kind of mocked up, I don't know, but
We have
something
that one.
that,
I thought this one was really, really nice. Too nice, clean, and simple.
it's definitely plain, but it has, now we know it's Mendon, it's green, black, and white. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I said clean, not plain. I personally, I love
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I like it. I think, maybe if we added a few, extra graphics, whether it's a,
Yeah.
kind of a border or something that would
Mhm.
kind of pull it in. And but I agree. I think unfortunately we're gonna have to go old school on, graphic design just because it's tough to keep people's attention. Anything
Yeah, I
too
think,
contemporary will lose people.
even that entering Mendon, I think Kate Merton had suggested that. She and I were reviewing it a couple weeks ago, and it's an eye grabber for the people that live in the town
Right.
to kind of draw their attention. Oh, something to do with Mendon, not something that doesn't have anything that says Mendon on it.
Yeah. No, good.
Okay. Okay, so we can definitely retool these all, and it might just take a little bit extra time, but it's no problem. And then we will launch the survey. We'll aim to get it out tomorrow, but if there are any snags, it will still be a top priority. So I think that those are really prudent suggestions. So that's all that I had on the materials. There are also some similar things for handout, small half-page flyers for municipal events, etc. But again, it's something that'll need to be slightly retooled. And so, Lonnie, that is everything that I had on the survey.
Excellent. All right. Too many things to click at once. All right, let's see. Next item on the agenda, review the phase 1 goals and objectives.
Excellent. So again, the phase 1 goals and strategies, goals and objectives were in the Dropbox. I hope that most of you had a chance to take a look at these. These are really the nuts and bolts and the framework for all of the recommendations that are going to be coming down the pipeline. And, there will be more strategies that we identify in the course of, actually developing the chapters. But this is a fairly solid summation of the recommendations that are going to come out of the plan. So from here, we'll start working, but we have been working backwards to start to outline, narrative and things along those lines. So we can walk through them if you like, but any preliminary thoughts on what you saw there? So we have the draft strategies for housing, economic development, and land use. And these have been workshopped, as a result of discussions with the town planner, other staff. There's more workshopping to do, but that'll be a little bit, that'll continue as a process as part of the chapter development.
Yeah, I think it looks really very comprehensive. Definitely what we talked about.
Tremendous. So would anybody like to walk through these tonight, or do you feel good about what you've seen? You had a chance to look at them and that's adequate for moving forward?
I think this is Dan. I had some questions, if this is what I'm looking at, that I had sent in.
Hi, Dan.
Gonna take a while to find them.
I don't remember if you sent them. I hope and think I would have incorporated them. Let me pull up your email. If you can also pull up your email at the same time, we'll see if we can work on that. Dan, questions. So I will tell you that, although there wasn't a meeting, we've continued with, again, the chapter development. So the housing chapter is drafted. It needs a little bit of fine tuning, formatting. I want to personally review it in depth, but that's in really good shape. Ryan has been working diligently on your economic development chapter. So that is, a really detailed outline is nearly complete for that. Land use is, going to be coming in a couple of weeks. I initially was going to work on that, but have decided that our senior land use planner with decades of experience would be an even better fit for it. So I think by waiting a few weeks there, you can get probably a little bit more thorough examination of some of the zoning and other topics. So that's where we're at. Dan, did you find your list of questions?
So I think, and maybe I'm not fully understanding the role here. I guess my only comment was a lot of these strategies require some significant changes to our zoning, which is fine. I just think that's something to be upfront about. A lot of these promotion of business uses, a lot of the things that were talked about are completely banned by our current zoning. So I just didn't want somebody to get the wrong idea that this is a thing that could happen tomorrow without a lot more work to be done.
Yeah, sure. Dan, are you talking about economic development strategies in particular? Which
Goal 2, support home-based occupations.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we have three sets. So we have a document for population and housing, one for land use, and one for economic development. Which one are you looking at?
This is economic development. Sorry.
Okay, excellent. No, no problem. It probably initially started out as a single document. Let's see. Okay, let's all look at it together.
Um,
Yes. Okay. So where are you talking about?
so I think, and I don't know if, I apologize if something was sent out. I don't see a Dropbox.
I sent,
Let's see.
I think I attached the items in the email last month, at the end of our last meeting. I included Dominique's Dropbox information along with the meeting notes for approval, review and for approval for tonight. So I think they were all attached to the email. I don't know if you can see those.
Okay. So then never mind. My comment could have been unrelated to something totally different.
What would it? Okay. So these. So
Oh,
we're
no.
not talking about the same same type of the same document and the same type of.
I guess what I'm looking at is stuff that's in goal 2.
Okay. Let's go to goal 2. Okay.
Goal 2 under economic development.
Yeah, and
Or
I guess my point would be, so like objective, support home-based occupations. One of the ways to do that is going to, oh, you added it, ensure that zoning is supportive. So maybe this is a revision that I didn't see then. Okay.
Okay, tremendous. So it looks that I do think that we have incorporated your suggestions then. So yes, so there is, these are, you can think of these as the extraction from a narrative. You can think about these as really the takeaways, and we're working backwards. So there will be more to add, but these are the general recommendations that are going to come out of the plan. Now we're going to we're going to explain some of the background, some of the history, some of the context where these came from. But yes, so for example, in your economic development chapter, we will absolutely detail what zoning, what specific zoning you would want, what changes you might want to make that would enable better enable home-based occupations. So we'll dig into that. The idea, and it's not always achievable, but our goal with all of these is that you can walk these recommendations out the door. You'll understand, okay, these are the next steps. So they should all, our hope is that we'll provide you with sufficient level of detail that you actually can put them into place, and this won't be a plan that sits on the shelf. So we'll do that wherever possible, including detailing exactly how to go about it. But we do want to make sure that though, that the recommendations that we are issuing are consistent with the political climate, with the goals, with the desires, with the needs of the town, right? So that's why we're workshopping these with you guys, is we just want to make sure we're, as familiar as we are with Mendon, as as much as have worked over the decades as an agency to try to understand, we're still consultants. So we really just need to make sure we're on the right path with the ideas, and that they'll fly, and that we're not missing something. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so we have gone through, and again, we've tried to come up with pretty actionable strategies here. So not only do we have the goals, but the objectives, and then strategies for bringing them into fruition. So again, and those will be further fleshed out in the narrative sections in the chapters for each.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
So Dominique, which goal, which strategy are you consider complete and ready for final review then? Because I know some of these are not, like this one's not ready yet.
Sorry?
Which ones are ready for final review versus some of the other ones that are still in draft or still in draft mode?
Sure. So from my perspective, they're all going to be works in progress until the very end. So they will continue to evolve. I would consider these 95% drafts, and that's about as far as we can finalize them, right?
So do we have a goal date that we're looking to shoot to get these completed by?
No, not at all. Not at all. So they're not, it's not something that really needs to be adopted. We would like to retain the latitude to continue tweaking, revising, enhancing, substituting if needed. But we, the idea is just to workshop all of these strategies with you to make sure that they are consistent with the flavor and the vision of what the community said they wanted and what you know about your town. So you don't need to do anything, but if they would, we just wanted you to be fully familiar, fully apprised, and we can keep on marching forward with the drafts if that works for you for phase 1 based on these frameworks. If there's something missing though, if you're on a board or a committee and you've looked at these and you say, hey, we've got all these things, all these strategies that we've been talking about, and they're not captured here. That's something we should know, right? So, Lisa?
Sorry, question. I'm sorry. I posted something on Facebook. I think probably on our page or on the Mendon page. I don't even remember what I said, but I tried to entice people to think about master plan, et cetera. And somebody, I don't remember who it was, asked in that Facebook page if we had considered cemetery space. So I don't know if any of this is going to be covered in master plan, but I thought that was a good thought.
That's a really good thought. And now that you mention it, I remember it being mentioned. So luckily, that will be part of I think probably 2 chapters, if not 1. So for sure, I think now these 2 chapters I never personally write, so I can't remember which one it's in, but it's going to be in either the natural. Yeah, I think it'll be in cultural and historic resources. Otherwise, it would be in natural resources and open space and recreation. But I think cultural and historic is where it usually falls. So it does get included. And so that's that's the phase we're working on the survey for right now. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So if you're part of a board or a committee besides this one, and you'd like to take these strategies back to your committee, now would be a great time to do it. Again, we just want to make sure that significant plans and strategies that are ongoing or should be incorporated aren't overlooked. We can incorporate them at any time, but now would be an ideal time. So, if you're on the planning board, now's a great time. If you're on an economic development committee, which I can't remember right now if the town has, now would be a great time. If you work on housing topics, if you're part of, X, Y, or Z that's focusing on housing, that would be a great time to bring the strategies.
I think, go ahead. Sorry.
Just to clarify, because I'm a little confused. So you're talking about these 3 documents: land use, housing, and economic development. Got it. Thanks.
Yes. I have great faith that they're solid based on, the composition of the committee and the fact, who put them together, you guys. So I think we should be probably okay, but it's good to have that buy-in and support at this point in time. Okay. So in terms of next steps, so as I said, 1 housing chapter is in draft form. I'm hoping to provide that to you soon. Economic development is well underway. Land use is forthcoming. I think we'll probably have that in a month. And at the next meeting, we will be looking at the survey results and workshopping those into strategies and goals and objectives as well. So I think things are now moving forward potentially much more quickly and at a great pace.
So, Dominique, I just have a question as to our strategy for getting this second rollout on the survey running. Are we going to do what we did with the first survey, for example, put up the sign, the electronic sign, or mean, how do we get this distributed, into the community? I'm wondering what the feedback is going to be, if we'll get as much feedback from people.
Thank you. I knew I was overlooking something essential. Yes, I think that we should work to put together a comprehensive rollout strategy besides what CMRPC will do. I think, that was part of why everybody was asked to or volunteered to be on the committee, was to tap into your various networks and your relationships in town. So as local champions, it'd be tremendous to have your help disseminating the survey as well. Tomorrow, once we have the survey materials, the promotional materials revised, we can send out a summary email with all of them attached. Last time, I think maybe it was Bill who he did a pro bono printing of some handouts. If you'd like to do handouts, we have, they're not that expensive. We can't do a broad mailing of the entire survey, but we can again do a half page, 8.5 by 11, black and white, and you can handing out at public events, etc. If you'd like. If somebody could take a lead on perhaps printing off a couple of color copies of the flyer and hanging those in some key locations, that would be tremendous. And alternatively, we can do it as well. So it's whatever is most convenient for you folks.
I can definitely take care of town hall and the library.
Okay. Shall we put a couple of hard copies of the survey at town hall as well?
Yeah, you can put them outside my office like we did last time. And I think we left some at the senior center too, right? They were the ones that used them the most, the hard copies.
Excellent. I believe I've stopped screen sharing. I hope that's accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now click the little X inside the square next to the microphone.
There we go. Thank you so much.
So should we, did we do this last time? Did we send something out in the crier? Even if we did just the single page that had the advertisement on it, as well as the, the QR code, so that people could just scan it with their phone.
I think we did put something in the crier, and then we also handed it out. We happened to be having an election at the time, and we handed them out. It was a town meeting or an election, I can't remember which. We handed out hard copies there. We don't have one coming up right now, so can't do that.
We can put together a brief press release for the crier if you like.
Great.
Something very straightforward with the QR code, and that's a great idea. Does anybody have resources to get it on a electronic signboard or up on town website, etc.?
We can
get it on the
contact. Who's that, Dan?
Yeah, I'll get it. Sorry, I'll get it on the website just once.
I can contact Bucky to get it on the bulletin board that's in the center of town.
Yeah, I think that quilt show was up there and that's done, so, or will be.
Okay.
What about, do you want me to call the police station for a digital sign, or does someone have a contact there? Okay, I'll call the police station to see about having them put the digital sign up at the light. How long will we run this survey until we get enough response? Okay. And our goal would be around 700, like the first survey?
If possible, that would be lovely to see. That would be
what do you normally see on a second round? Less?
I think there is some attrition. There's some drop off. I think people are having real survey fatigue. So,
Kathy Schofield, I think, is there a historical society survey going out?
I don't.
I thought I saw that.
Relative to this. This is a big townwide thing.
Yeah.
So it would just be a small group of people?
Where we were talking to some people on Washington Street about a specific thing about a historic district. That's,
Oh, okay.
Not really. That's already been sent out too, so.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
So I missed the time frame that we're going to work in, Dominique. What we're going to start now and run for how long?
What what I've been doing recently, and I feel like it's been effective, proving effective, is opening the survey, pushing it hard, getting a sense of the direction, and then leaving it open until we get the responses we want. They do continue trickling in over time.
Yeah.
So that is kind of what I'd suggest. Why don't we plan to keep it open? Plan to keep it open for and promote it heavily for a month, month and a half, 2 months. Promote it heavily, make that a very focused effort, and then then we can leave it open. There's usually pretty strong direction on most of the results. If there's not a strong direction, 1 or 2 doesn't usually change it. It's a middling result anyway. I think that strategy has been working. So we can leave it open until we have what we want. If that's okay with everybody.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah,
Dan,
no, it's just thinking in terms of, baseball season starts.
that's
we
exactly
have
what I was going. Yep.
fields.
When does
Um,
that start?
We
So
could
the
post the QR codes up at the field when everyone's bored.
When is baseball
best way
season?
to reach all those people is electronic. I mean, we can certainly post flyers, signs and flyers. I think opening day is the end of April,
Okay.
but I wouldn't go too crazy. They're all on Facebook, but they do have like a mailing list. So if we had something, we could ask them to, reshare it. Might be the way
Yeah.
to handle that.
And the soccer group
Yeah, all
is
the
huge too. So we could definitely tap into that.
How about schools and seniors? Is there a senior-centered newsletter? Is there a contact or source of, for the schools that might help?
I don't know.
She has a newsletter. I mean, again, they have an email list for the seniors. So once it's ready, they can send a blast out. Same for the schools, I think. And there's actually been a few like the PTO groups that have been a little more active posting. So maybe they'll repost for us.
And then I would like us to try to think broadly about groups that may be traditionally underrepresented, who, in civics and other types of, municipal activities. If you know of any local organizations or local clubs, local meetups, especially for people, populations who don't tend to participate in these type of things, if there's any way that you can promote the survey to them or bring that to us to find a way to do that better, I think that would be tremendous.
I wasn't on the committee when we sent the first survey out. I think for me, it would be really helpful if we developed a blurb that would go in an email or on a Facebook post or on something like that we could just copy and paste and attach a flyer. I don't know if that was done before, but I do think that would, I know for me, it would be much faster and easier for me to get that out to the people that I would like to get it out to and sort of repost if I didn't have to rewrite it every time and think about what I wanted to say and wordsmith it.
I think that's a great idea. We most usually do that unless I forget. So, however, we're starting to get into territory where we've got a lot of smart people on this committee and who can probably do it better than me. Is there somebody I can work through just to make sure? Is there somebody you'd like to appoint on the committee to review all of these materials, the blurbs, the flyers, all of this before we send it out and say, hey, send this to the world? Is there anybody you'd like? I mean, can I?
I'll take it on if no one else will. I can do it. Unless somebody else wants to do it.
I think you'll do a great job.
Yeah, okay, Kathy.
All in favor?
That's not very nice.
I know.
Thank
That's
you very
fine. I'm
much.
happy to do that. I'm happy to do that.
Wonderful. I'm sure we can come up with some great stuff putting our heads together. So other ideas on how we might be able to reach the full population, the broad population, the population that's missed.
What do you see in other towns that you're working with?
The truth is that Facebook works the best. Paid advertising is extremely effective.
Paid advertising on Facebook?
Yeah, paid advertising on
Mhm.
Facebook. I mean, I can spend $50 and, bring in the survey results the fastest and the most effectively. But that's not everybody. Not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody, you know, um,
Mhm.
and I think that can continue to be a cornerstone.
I know that the town crier has been advertising their new Facebook page or their new website. That
Oh,
might
yeah.
be a good idea as well, because I think with all the toxic issues, I know I'm a person that doesn't go on Facebook anymore. I do Instagram, but I don't do Facebook. So, but they've been advertising in the town crier, the new website, so that might be an opportunity as well.
How about an ice
That's a
cream?
great idea.
How about an ice cream social?
That's a nice idea. I'd come for
good.
that.
Yet we could get a nice cart that says Mendon Master Plan and go up on the parks and give away free popsicles. All right, I'm losing Lisa. All right.
I like that.
I'd love to. Kate Merton had suggested a while ago, not that this would be probably the spot to do that, but to do these weekly farmers markets. And wouldn't that be a nice draw to get people to come, to check out the farmers market, support the local farmers. I know that there's a new CSA that just is starting up, these two young kids on Cemetery Street, starting a community share thing. Wouldn't these be great ways to get that kind of the community together?
Right.
I don't know if we could do that. Can we use Founders Park for that? To have like a little farmers market? I don't know. I have to get permission. And all
I don't believe we can. It's possible. You got to look at I haven't read it in a while, but it was very specific what you could do there. So
do we do it anyway, Alani? We have to find a way to yes. This is the year of yes.
You can probably do it on the library lawn.
I'll defer to
That's a good
somebody
idea.
that may know better, but the whole plan for that land down by the school was supposed to be, I thought, that farmers market and community fields to grow. And I
Down
believe
by
they're still
Misco?
working on it.
Across from Misco? Yeah. But what about something closer to town until they're ready to do that? Or are they going to be doing that this year, farmers markets?
I don't know. I mean, we could probably do it anywhere closer to town, closer to Route 16 that anybody would allow us to do it on. I'm sure. I mean, we do have the land across from Clough and as well, but I mean, maybe to set up there, I don't know if you really.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to grow there. We'd have to check the soil again, but there was because of the pesticides that were.
Oh, no. Not to grow there, but to have people come, like that farm that's on North Avenue. He just has the
Uruguayan gardens.
Yeah. Just to have different farmers bring their stuff to a little area, and people could come by and buy cucumbers on a Friday night. Or
maybe this is something that should go to there's an agricultural commission or parks commission that might be more in their wheelhouse.
All right. Well, just in thought for one way to reach that community, to reach that kind of community that Dominique was mentioning. That's a good.
Well, maybe even, I mean, I'm a real strong proponent for something like that. I work in Franklin and they have those in the spring and it's really well attended and the local farmers come out, but maybe it's for the agricultural people, but we don't have a spot for it anyway. And that's us, right? We don't have a location where we could even advocate for that or go to.
No, hang on.
What?
I don't think it's the master plan's place to pick where we'll have the farmers market, is it?
No. It's a place.
We're getting off topic here.
Yeah, we're like way off of what.
We go back to
we
what we were doing.
talking about ways to draw different parts of the community to get.
So then you need
out.
business emails. That's what you need. You need to, if you're people that have farms have business emails, that's how we get it out.
Okay.
The agricultural commission though may have that contact info. So again, I think when the survey is ready, we should do a blast to boards and committees and say, hey, you know, we're looking, like you said, to connect with these groups that aren't necessarily, you know, that are being missed.
Mhm.
And then that starts
Okay.
some of these conversations.
Right. Okay. Great idea.
Kate, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you wanted to finish your thought, I apologize for that.
No. I guess I didn't realize we were off track, but I was thinking that it was part of our role to develop our community and find a place. I heard you say no, Founders Park is not available. So whether or not it's about a farmer's market, do we have a local place where we could do community events in the town? People could organize those. Is that part of our role here? To look for a place like that. And if we don't have one, is that part of what we're looking for, or is that not what we're looking for?
You know what? I don't know. I can't answer that. Could some?
I would
I'll
add,
yeah.
sorry, from parks, I do think long term there is a need for a quote fairground type place. You know, I mean, all of these events, I mean, the park is great, but it has its issues. Founders Park has its issues. So identifying a space for that sort of event is probably something to consider in the long-term planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, I would say that, you know, the location that's being, long term, yeah, I think we have the answer. I think that the fields that were set aside to do that that were donated to the town down by Misco is really where that's going to take place. There's quite a bit of land, but again, that's being done by volunteers to get it done. So it's not owned by the town. So it's very, you know, we don't have a ton to say about it. However, short term, if you're looking for short term, any piece of land we can use. With the exception of Founders Park, I believe, but I would just want to
Actually,
first, it might not be 100% out.
I think it's viable. The problem with Founders Park is parking and utilities. There's no bathrooms, there's no running water, and you get limited parking. But I mean, other than that, it'd be great.
So we'll just make sure to, I know Ryan is taking diligent notes in the background, so we'll just make sure to include a note that for the natural resources and open space and recreation chapter, as well as the economic development chapter, we're going to want, you know, just to make sure to dig into that a little bit. And as the opportunity is there to potentially flag areas that might be suitable for those type of events, we should flag them in the master planning process.
Okay.
We could also use a Memorial Day parade as well to distribute flyers. So, you know, when we get to that point, we can jump in and, you know, because a lot of the people in the community get together in the town hall area. So that's an opportunity.
That's a great idea.
Lisa?
That's a great idea.
Question on the survey and more about the compilation of the information. Is there somebody I can talk to about how that's going to work? Because I'm kind of curious how the first half and then the second half are going to be compiled in a way that you see that cross-reference. And there's a lot of relative information across the different themes you've set up in the survey. So I'm kind of curious to understand how the information on the school is going to be correlated back to the information on housing when I see things like density and things like that. So I'm just kind of curious how all that is going to work given the current structure of the survey.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of one, let's start with, I know this is not what you're asking, but one, let's start with how we're going to present it. So I think the two surveys are not going to.
And I'm sorry, Dominique, if you guys want to take it off, I know I'm just jumping on because I was reading the information. I was curious. I can take it offline, maybe follow up unless you want to talk about it now.
No, it's an excellent question. And I think probably it's an excellent question. So the idea is that all of these chapters and topics will speak to each other. That's why nothing is 100% draft until it's done, right? Because as subsequent sections and phases are, you know, developed, as these results come in, we need to go back and make sure that we're looking at cross-cutting themes and how do, you know, population projections and school growth projections as reflected in the town services and facilities section, how does that inform, you know, other topics? So I think that's part of the challenge of a master plan process. But at the end, we will be providing you know, a holistic document in which the different chapters speak to each other. A lot of the times you'll see that there will be nearly identical recommendations in, you know, housing chapter, economic development chapter, land use chapter. There is some overlap because again, these topics all do inform each other. Nothing, even though we break them into chapters, you could break them into completely different chapters, you know, based on how we look at them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We won't be doing any statistical. We won't be taking the survey results and parsing them out, you know, to really break them down more than the standard SurveyMonkey platform will do the analysis. It's a pretty simple, straightforward analysis.
Because given the questions, I'd expect you're going to see some contradictory recommendations coming out of it.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I hope that answered answered your question. And feel free to shoot me an email if you want to talk about it more.
Great to see you, Mike.
All right. Any other thoughts on promotion of the survey or related topics, or shall we move on?
I think we're good. I think just to review, if anybody can help with getting the word out on the survey once it's brought out would be helpful. I'll make color copies and post them around places other than the library and the senior center. Ellen, I think you said you would do those. No, library and town hall. But does anybody go to senior center? Would be able to drop off hard copies? Did someone say they were going to do that?
I can get some to Amy.
Okay, great. And then I guess, like Dominique said, just using our personal networks to get it out on Facebook would be great. And then, oh, okay, great. Thank you.
But the only other topic that I have through the vice chair is that we are also working on the phase 2 chapters to the extent possible. So we've started conducting outreach, for example, for the town services and facilities chapter. We've started reaching out to municipal staff to try to identify the existing conditions in terms of town buildings, town services, what current staffing levels, current staffing needs, the adequacy of existing facilities and infrastructure therein. So we are continuing to make progress on the other fronts as well. Some of it will need to, again, wait until we get the survey results and work with you on strategy articulation, but things are moving forward in the background as well. So that's all I have.
Great.
All right. Do we have, I don't see it. Is there anything else that falls under these? Have you reviewed everything you wanted to, Dominique?
Yes, that's everything. If the survey looks good as you approved it and the strategies in their 95% draft look good, then I think that's everything for tonight for us.
All right. The next agenda item is anything not anticipated within 48 hours. Do we have anything for that category? No? Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to touch upon before we adjourn?
We should set the next meeting date.
Certainly. What do you guys
think have? I think we already have it, but we should confirm it.
Can I also add on that? I was going to send an email. I think we should decide if nobody's interested in person, it might be better to just post these as full remote. Technically, if it was posted as hybrid, if we didn't open up town hall, that could be a violation if somebody wanted to go there. It sounds like nobody was there, so we're covered, but.
Well, somebody might have been there.
Right.
I was
maybe
there.
Mr. Goddard was.
Don't you still have a key, Mike?
I'm
Nope.
very sorry, Mike.
Yeah,
I was there too.
I'll take a little bit of responsibility. My intention was to be on site, and then I had told Lisa last minute, but I didn't even think to stop by and unlock the door. I apologize. Again, I think that we would probably keep them hybrid. I'll just be sure that it's very odd that one of us wasn't there, whether it be Dan, Ellen, or I, with keys. That generally one of us is always there. So to have the trifecta tonight, we should all probably go play the lottery.
Well, I wonder, maybe it's worth, even without keys, training somebody else to run the equipment. I know I'm going to be real busy on Monday nights. But just, there's a lot of people on this commission. Maybe we can figure something out.
Yeah, it was no big deal. I actually was able to.
I didn't think of it either.
I could remote in. If I'd have just, I drove by and saw somebody's car, somebody getting out of their car, right? I assumed that it was open because I actually remoted in when I got home to turn the camera on at the office. Sorry, in the meeting room and do all that. However, it was dark in there. I'll be sure that let's just be sure that one of us with a key has at least opens the door.
I'd like to keep it hybrid if possible as well. I think working in person is a great way to be a little more collaborative and, getting to know each other better and working together rather than being on Zoom if possible. That's my vote.
I would agree with you. I think some days are really good to just put our brains together and toss around ideas. So.
If I may, I believe somebody had been circulating an email saying that there was an issue with the next meeting date.
That was also me. It's in May. We'd like to hold a hearing for the district at 7:00 on that Monday night. So if we're done in an hour, it's no big deal. I know they set the library up as a space. The only reason is because all the cable aid equipment is there, and we wanted to make sure we had a big recording since this is a decent hearing. So if you're just going to meet up until 7, it's not a problem at all. Otherwise, maybe we could plan to use the library meeting space on that night, where it has the same hybrid equipment set up.
Yeah, we also have the police station as well.
Is it live?
I believe so. I'll stop and check tomorrow, but I think it's all set.
I think it's live. I got a meeting invite today.
Oh, cool.
I won't be able to attend in person, but one of us will be there in person if needed.
So that's in May. It just, unfortunately, with the town hall, we get the limit on the space, but April is fine.
So we're the first Monday in April. That'd be April 4th would be our next meeting at 6 p.m. at Town Hall /hybrid. And then you're saying, Dan, May, what is the May date?
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
So if
we'll
the
move
police
that
station
to the
space is functional, that would be perfect. And then there's no risk of overlap.
Okay. Police station /hybrid for May 2nd. Okay, just for my secretary notes.
All right. Anything else? I'll
Nope.
take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Get a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks everybody so much. Nice tight meeting. Good night.